Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Powerful Plays. My name is Andrew Farrell. This is, of course, our first video recorded episode. I'm joined by Donovan McNabb. No, I'm just playing. This is my buddy Paul.
What's
Paul,
up, y'all?
how you doing?
Good. Can't complain.
Can't complain. Yeah, man, I'm ready. I'm excited. First episode.
Yeah.
We got a good one today, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing an NFL draft recap. So, for those of you that don't know, last Thursday night, the NFL kicked off its annual draft, and the first round happened on Thursday. We had rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on Saturday. So today is Sunday. We're getting everything recapped. We're both big Eagles fans, so we obviously we won the draft. So we're excited to talk about it. So with that being said, kind of the way that I envision this going is a little formatting wise, like. I'll read off the pick, who picked him, and then we'll get your thoughts. I'll get my thoughts, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right. So to get things started, number 1 overall pick. I don't think anybody was surprised.
Undisputed.
Yeah. Bryce Young went to the Carolina Panthers.
100%. I think, kind of like what everyone else has said, like, if this kid is 6'2", 6'3", like, there's no questions. The only question people say is about his height, but, I mean, year after year, it's shown that height really doesn't matter as long as you can throw the football.
Drew Brees is a great example.
Him, Russell Wilson,
Kyler Murray,
like, the list can go on and on.
He's a playmaker too.
100%.
So like he's so shifty that it's he's gonna make it easier on himself. His game it'll translate well, I think. I gave that pick a. I'm sure people had it like A, B, but for me at least, and that's another thing, is we'll give kind of a letter grade. My letter grade for that is an A, because like I don't think you can go wrong with a guy like that.
I don't think so either. I think A is probably the perfect A minus range.
Yeah.
Just because like you were saying, like they needed a quarterback, they went out, they did what they needed to do, they got their QB of the future.
Yeah. I wish they would have had DJ Moore still. I do, but you said they picked up Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
That's
big wide receiver at Ole Miss.
That's a big one. If he didn't get hurt last year, like. He's doing a lot better than he did. He's probably a first, second round guy.
100%. He's up there with some of the guys who got picked in the first round.
Oh yeah.
Minus that injury.
Yeah. I think he was definitely better than that TCU kid, Quentin Johnson. I did not like his game much. I digress. The next 2 picks, I can just consider this the biggest. I would say the Eagles won the draft, but like if it's not for the Eagles, the fucking Houston Texans.
Texans
right?
won round 1 100%.
Oh yeah,
being able to not only get their quarterback of the future in C.J. Stroud, who I personally think is right there on Bryce Young's level. I know a lot of people had questions about his game and stuff, but I mean you can't start at Ohio State and not be a playmaker.
Exactly, it's too loaded of a room. I mean,
exactly.
Joe Burrow couldn't get reps there.
Exactly,
like, it's tough.
And then on top of that, I mean, Will Anderson
most dominant defensive player.
100%.
And for the last 3 years, as a freshman, he was fucking up SEC talent on offensive line, which is it's very difficult, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, and then especially the way they were able to make that move.
Yeah.
And, like, no one saw it coming.
Oh my, so shrewd, man, so good. I was sitting there and I was like looking back and I was like, okay, all right, well, I wonder what the Cardinals are going to do, because like I was like, nobody's going to come up for a quarterback, right? Because the Colts were just going to take whoever was left, in my opinion. And then it popped up that the Houston Texans were traded back in, dude. I stood up a lot because I immediately knew, dude. I was like, oh, this is so good.
During the draft, I had the draft on the TV, had my Twitter pulled up on the iPad. I'm sitting there just refreshing, trying to see the trades. That trade pops up. I think it was probably one of the biggest surprises of the draft this year. If not the biggest.
Oh, I think it was the biggest, yeah, because that's just like, that's out of the top 3 players, you got 2 and 3. Like you're and at 2 and 3, so like you won all the way around. I give it an A+. I just kind of called those 2 picks
100%.
together.
You put those 2 picks together, it's an A+. It's an A+. I think overall draft for the Texans.
Yeah.
Even going into like some of their later rounds or some of their later.
They had like 10, 12 picks. They really racked up, and they parlayed that into taking advantage of the Cardinals, who I believe coming in only had their 7 straight up.
Yeah.
And so that worked out great for them. You get your offensive guy of the future, your defensive guy of the future. Regime change. There's a lot of talk about. It's just been rough for Houston post JJ Watt, and then even with JJ Watt. So it's good to see them get back on track.
I'm excited to see, especially CJ, get in that QB room with the new offense, new head coach this year. I think for them,
D'Amico Ryans from San Francisco.
I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see how that works. D'Amico being way more of a defensive guy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he kind of can input on offense, and then of course their coordinators and stuff up there.
I think they got a whole lot of the 49ers staff to come over. He poached a lot of their defensive staff, so It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one for the. I'm excited for the Tech. I think they're gonna. Well, we'll get into that another day.
I think for me though, this is the real interesting part of the top 10. So numbers like 4 through 8, I think were super interesting picks. I mean, Anthony Richardson going 4 to the Colts.
That was shocking.
Not something that I was expecting.
Shocking.
I was expecting him to go to Will Levis. He's a prototype Colts quarterback, a pocket guy.
Yeah.
Not very.
And
he's mobile, but he's not as mobile as some of the other QBs coming in.
All indications were that. Oh my! I'm blanking on his name now. The Colts owner.
Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay, yes, that he was like falling in love with Will Levis, and so I was feeling really good about the Will Levis pick. First off, him falling out was just insane. I felt bad for the guy on TV. Like
especially after that interview that he had during his pro day, where he was like, I just don't want to go if I'm a fall, and you just watch it happen, and it was like a slow death. Almost. It was painful to watch for the poor kid.
It was. Did you see how like they had like the ESPN ticker would have like
the percentages? Yes, it was like at pick 20, I think it was like 0.01%.
Like some Dermot type shit. Yeah, dude. Oh, crazy. I felt bad for him because that's like back in the day, like when it happened, like it sucks, right? It's never gonna not suck. But like when you put a number on it, it just sucks even more, in my opinion.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, congrats to Anthony Richardson.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big Florida fan, so I'm a big fan of his game. I think that he does have some issues when it comes to accuracy and some other things, but I mean, NFL's gonna fix that, and if they don't, it'll get shown real quick.
I mean, he's with our old offensive coordinator now. And I think they're going to implement the same way that he was able to develop Jalen Hurts. Mm-hmm. Like he's going to go in and he's going to be able to do that too. 100%. So I think it's good for him. I think that read option game with him and Jonathan Taylor is about to be electric. They've got big body guys: Alec Pierce, Michael Pittman Jr. Those are both huge strike zone guys. Anthony Richardson's got accuracy issues. You can just throw it anywhere around him, and those guys can go get it. So I like the pick for potential wise. If it doesn't work out, you really kind of screwed yourself.
I mean, I hate saying it because I think it's a stupid analysis, but at the same time, like he does have the highest ceiling of all these guys.
But he has a super low floor.
Exactly. Yeah. But his floor isn't as nice as Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud.
Because those guys they're like, and he's only started 16 games, so like that's why with those guys, like you know what you're gonna get off rip, and I think that's also part of the concern with Levis is like the injury. Like we didn't see him for consistent years healthy playing at a high level, so I think that played a huge role. So I would give that right now. I'm gonna err on the side of caution. I changed my mind. I'm gonna give it about a C+ because I think that's right in the middle because he's either boom or he's bust.
Yeah, I give it B- just because I think like I'm excited to see what the Colts can do. Yeah. I'm also think that they're still a few pieces away even with him of really competing.
They have a solid defense, so
defense is great. Yeah. Offensive wise, I mean, you can hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor 30 times a game and be fine. Yeah. But I do think they are missing, a true deep tight end threat and another wide receiver to kind of go along with.
They need a true number one.
Exactly.
Like Michael Pittman's good, but in my opinion, he's not.
He's not there yet.
Yeah,
I think he can be.
I agree, and I think yes, I really do think he can be. I think he just needs to expand his game. Like right now, to me, he is very much a straight line runner. He's a get separation, just big body you, and he needs to diversify his route tree, and just a whole lot of different things. But he's got the potential. So moving on from number 4, we've got kind of a surprising pick for me in the sense that I saw Jalen Carter fitting here more. Then I saw Devin Witherspoon. Yeah. I love Devin Witherspoon. I think they're trying to rebuild that Legion of Boom and ride it out.
I also think it was interesting to me not seeing Christian Gonzalez be the first corner off the board.
I was surprised
for him to fall all the way down to 17 in the Patriots. Like
that was a steal for them.
100%.
I was when that pick came up, I was like, oh, they got to take it, dude.
But like you said though, I mean, Legion of Boom 2.0. If it's coming, it's great. No knock on Devin Witherspoon. He's a nasty corner, and he makes plays. He's a ball hawk, but at the same time, I just don't think a lot of people were expecting him at 5.
I agree. I expected him top 10, like in that range, and the 5 really did surprise. I'm happy for him. I think he's well deserving. I think he was a top. I think he was a top corner. I think he was. I like. His name.
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, I like his potential frame wise, like physically. I think he's got more, but like I watched Devin Witherspoon's highlight tape, and the kid's a thumper, man. He hits people. He's a tone setter at corner.
Like I said, I mean, they're real close. I think it really truly is 1A, 1B. It's not 1 and 2. I just like Gonzalez's game better. I think he's a little bit of a bigger body on the field. But at the same time, like, we're not NFL scouts. Seattle sees something in him that they wanted, they got him.
Right, he's going to play that Richard Sherman tone setter kind of role, I think. So
100%.
So grade-wise, what would you give it?
I mean, I think it's still a solid B. B plus. Because, I mean, Jalen Carter, I think, is still a better fit for them. But, I mean, they got their guy. They wanted Witherspoon. They got Witherspoon.
We're not complaining.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they got,
they got
top 2 corner in the NCAA.
Yeah.
And then I think moving on to 6, Paris Campbell, the Cardinals did exactly what they needed to do.
I was so shocked with Paris. Like, that trade up to get him. I had no idea that was coming. I'm really happy they did because they needed to protect Kyler Murray. Like, I think they're going to redshirt him this year. I see this year being a kind of an ease him back in type of thing. And then next year, but, like, they need offensive line help. This is huge. This is top tackle. They managed to get him. Great job.
I mean, he definitely was the undisputed number one tackle.
Yeah, I think Skoronski was in there for that number 1 lineman.
I think it's a B plus pick for them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go A tier because there's other directions they could have went that I think they could have gotten better players, but this is their best fit.
Yeah. That's for me. That's why I give it an A. Is like I'm a big fit guy when it comes, especially the top 10. Like, I get the blue chip players.
Yeah.
But like even like just skipping over Tyree Wood just to quickly hit on Bijan. I think that's a good fit for them.
Yeah.
I think you got a young quarterback. We'll get into that in a second. So, I'm sorry, I get a little ahead of myself.
No, you're good.
Anyways, Tyree Wilson to the Raiders. This one I'm not too crazy about. I'm going to be honest. I think this is looking like another Chandler Jones signing type of deal. Like, I think they're going to really get invested and get super hyped into this, and then he's not pro-ready. And so, I think he's going to benefit from having Max Crosby across from him and Chandler Jones in his corner talking to him. And I don't see this being an immediate impact type of play.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would even go down to like a C plus.
Yeah.
Maybe like super low B minus range for them.
I'm in a D because I think there's better players that you could have gotten.
I think there's better players, and I think there's even better players that could have fit what they needed.
The O-line.
O-line. I mean, even, something offensive.
Jalen Carter was still sitting there.
Exactly. Jalen Carter's still sitting there. I mean, even someone like a Luke Van Ness, like a nasty linebacker for them, I think would be better.
Somebody more established.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see how Tyree develops with Chandler Jones and Mad Max, because, I mean, those two are beasts. Like,
oh, yeah.
But
Chandler Jones is going to teach you the technical, and Mad Max is just going to teach you how to fucking rip somebody's head off every single play.
And then, here's the big one. I think this is the most surprising.
Controversial pick.
Yeah.
Controversial.
I think number 8, Bijan going number 8 is insane. It completely shook up the whole wide receiver room for the rest of running back room for the rest of the draft. Because it led to, the Lions kind of reaching at 12 for Jahmyr Gibbs.
That was a surprise to me.
Don't get me wrong, I loved him as an Eagles fan. I mean, that's who I thought we were going to take with the original 10th pick.
Yeah.
Because, again, I wasn't expecting Jalen Carter to still be there for us at 9-10 range.
Got him.
I love him. I'm a huge Bijan fan.
I am too.
I think kid's one of the better running backs that we've seen come out in.
I think he's built like Adrian Peterson, man.
Yeah.
And he plays a similar. I would equate it to a modern Adrian Peterson kind of style of running, where he almost glides, but he's so powerful at the same time. He's very impressive. I think this is a great fit for them.
They definitely needed a running back.
They do. I mean, they had Arthur Smith coming over from Tennessee, where he was Derrick Henry's coach. You got Desmond Ridder, a young quarterback who you're really not quite sold on all the way, I would say. And this really gives you the opportunity to set him up for success. You already got the O-line pieces there. You went back to previous years. You went Kyle Pitts, Drake London. You got weapons. You got the O-line. You got the running back.
Definitely security blanket.
It is.
I think Bijan's going in there making an immediate impact. He's a day one starter, 100%.
It keeps you competitive.
Exactly.
They don't. I think for them, like in that division, that's such a toss up right now. That's the biggest thing is can you stay
100%.
in the game?
I think with this pick right now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it puts them the front runner of that division.
I would say it's them and the Saints, and
Yeah.
I think they're ahead of the Saints because I like their offense a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think the Saints are. I think they got some pieces there, but I have zero faith in Michael Thomas's ability to stay healthy.
No.
And Derek Carr to me it's a good signing because it's what they needed. However, he's getting up there.
I think also the Saints, it might be their tank year.
It,
With the QB class coming out next year.
Drake May and Caleb Williams
that's
are
what I'm saying.
fucking crazy, man. Like that's gonna. We thought tank for Tua was bad. Tank for Caleb Williams is about to be a whole different kind of
Especially
level.
depending on how he plays this year at USC.
Oh yeah.
Lincoln Riley over there just.
Lincoln Riley's gonna set up this whole year to show off how cool he can get with
Mhm.
Caleb Williams. Like this,
100%.
they're not. I guarantee you. Obviously they want to win, but like with the 12-team playoff on the horizon next year, like I can see in Lincoln Riley's mind. All right, let me just show off. For
Exactly.
A minute. Like let me just stun on these hoes, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah. So this pick, I mean, for me, it's a B plus, A minus.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that.
Like you said, or like we both kind of said, like it may have not been like the best pick,
Yeah.
but I think it's the best pick for them.
I agree, and this is kind of where I like this range of 8 to 10 is where he was gonna land anyways.
Mhm. That's where all the analysis had him.
Yeah, and I actually saw a lot of like the day going up to it, like Bucky Brooks and Daniel Jeremiah, like those kind of guys. They were kind of settling on this pick in Atlanta just because it does make sense.
Yeah.
You know, there is like we said, yeah, there's a lot to be happy about. And then speaking of being happy, God blessed us. God bless Howie Roseman. That man continues to work his magic.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't either.
I really
dude.
don't.
I don't know how the league lets him get away with it, dog. Like,
Jalen Carter at 9.
oh my God, A plus.
Even with off the field issues, I mean,
I don't
clearly the issues weren't big enough, or they wouldn't have picked him.
Yeah.
Saw something today that the Eagles head of security, who kind of reads into all this stuff about the players and stuff, cleared him.
Yeah.
So I think he's a dog.
He is.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
He's the Philadelphia Bulldogs are getting real, man.
I think also putting him in the same room as not only his former college teammates, but
veterans, man.
veterans like Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox is a very comparative game to his.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so filthy.
A plus.
A plus all around.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we.
That he fell to
Almost.
9.
Yes, and then honestly, I look at it like this too, dude. If we stay healthy, like the fact that we almost broke the 85 Bears record last year, right? And then all we did was get so much better on the D line.
Yeah.
Like Hassan Reddick, Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan
It
Davis.
just keeps getting bigger, and I think it also helps out our secondary where we lost some players.
Yeah, because I
we,
mean,
we
quarterback-
lost C.J. Garner Johnson. I think it's a
big
bigger
one.
loss than we're gonna think.
I agree.
But I also do think like
he was out. He was out for 6
That's
weeks
what I'm
last
saying.
year, so we can make it happen.
And then I think the next 2 picks. I mean, O-tackle for both of these teams.
Well, I think Skaronski's gonna slide into guard.
You think
for them.
so?
Yeah, I think he's he's just from what I understand. I don't know the exact measurements of his arms, but when I read the scouting reports, the only concern was his arm length, and then I watch his highlights or like the film that they put off, and he kind of gets on his skis sometimes, like on an island with a tackle. If somebody hits him with a bull rush, like there's literally clips of I forget who, it might have been Lucas Van Ness here. They were playing Northwestern, and he just he just gets bullied off the ball out there on an island. So I think him having a center and a tackle around him will help him a lot. And then Darnell Wright, he's a run blocking monster. Honestly, he played Jalen Carter the best out of any offensive lineman I saw this year.
That's an A pick for the Bears.
They needed that. They need to protect Fields. Like they got DJ Moore. Like you got your running backs. Like
give him some time in the pocket to work, so he's not having to run for his life out there. And
it keeps him healthy.
The Bears are a scary team.
Their defense is like,
especially with the changes in the NFC North up there.
Yeah. I see.
Packers gonna have a rough year. I'm sorry.
Vikings are too, man.
Vikings are gonna have a rough one.
It's gonna be the Bears and the Lions. I think the Lions are gonna take it. I think the Bears are gonna come out in the wild card, or vice versa.
And then Tennessee. I mean, them picking Skaronski here. It's not a terrible pick.
It's a need pick. Yeah. I mean, I think I don't think they traded.
C plus. It's an average pick. Not based on Skaronski as a player. I think he's great, but just
splash value type deal. Like I feel like the Titans are in a spot right now. I kind of think they got it back with 33 with Will Levis a little bit.
Yeah.
Like there was a little bit more excitement, but like The Titans right now just really went from being in the AFC Championship consecutive years. They look like they're about to be the rivals of the Chiefs to where's Derrick Henry, where's Ryan Tannehill, get rid of A.J. Brown, which gets your whole fucking staff fired.
Yeah.
Like,
having to play Malik Willis, who
trash.
Doesn't look like he's going to turn out what.
Oh, they're already done with him. Oh, yeah, they're already gone. So the Titans just needed something, and I don't think they got I don't think they got much bang for their buck. I think it was a safe pick. I respect it. So I'll go with you. I'll give it like a B. Just solid all the way around. But this next one,
Jahmyr Gibbs at 12.
Oh, that was crazy, man.
What a reach.
What a reach. I agree. And the Lions were looking so good, too. I had so much hope for the Lions, especially because they were at 6. And if you're at 6, you could have taken Bijan Robinson, man. Like, you didn't have to do all that. And then, it just... I don't know. I wasn't in love with this pick.
I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he.
I do too.
I think he's
a late rounder though. Like he's not
he's
top
a second
10.
and third rounder. I think most of the predictions I had him. He even had us drafting him originally in the second.
Yeah. Which I would have loved. I mean compliment. We got DeAndre Swift, who's just a little bit more experienced version of that. I guess.
Honestly,
I guess. Jahmyr Gibbs really is just switching out Swift for some fresh legs.
Yeah.
So
I just don't know. I think 12 was definitely a reach. I think they could have even traded further back and got him.
Yeah. That's another thing is they didn't have to stick and pick there.
Yeah.
And Christian Gonzalez was on the board, and they need a corner bad, man. Like
after Jeff Okudah leaving.
Yeah, they traded him to the Falcons. Like it's, I don't know. This was a pick where I saw that the Lions had 5 picks in the top 50, which is just insane. Like literally, I think it's unprecedented in my mind. I don't believe I've ever seen that many picks.
I can't think of a time that I have either.
And I was not in love with this pick. I don't like it. I gotta agree with the CBS website right now. I'm giving this a D. I don't think it's an F. But I don't think it deserves. Yeah, I don't think it deserves because like it's not changing anything. Yeah, and you're wasting. Like you could have given Aiden Hutchinson a dominant presence somewhere else on that defense. I get they got their linebacker later. But like,
Will McDonald was still there.
He was.
Who falls down to the Jets. Like you said, Emmanuel Forbes, Christian Gonzalez, like.
And when it comes to pass rush, like the Eagles are the you need a bullpen. Like you need a closer, you need a starter, you need a fastball guy.
You need to be able to rotate these guys out. Aiden Hutchinson can't play
all game. Yeah,
he can't play 100 snaps a game.
He is Superman. Don't get me wrong. Like he's a beast, but like he's not. Yeah.
But yeah, 13, Luke Van Ness with the Packers. I think it's a good pick for them.
I agree. They're going to struggle on defense. Yeah. They're going to be bad anyways.
I see him. He could be next AJ Hawk for them.
Yeah. He's got that kind of. He's long. He's long. His speed impresses me. I'm looking at it right now. He's 6'5", 275, and so he's versatile. He slides inside. He slides outside. There's a lot you can do with him. So I think he helps the Packers because they're aging. Like Rashawn Gary can't stay healthy. They don't have the Smith brothers anymore.
Also, I think like you said though, he's versatile. He can play inside linebacker. He can play outside linebacker. He ran like a 4.5 at the combine.
Yeah, he was athletic,
which is pretty quick for someone his build. And then that and 17 reps on the bench. Like he's strong. He's a bigger guy. So I definitely think, for me, this is a B pick for them. It's not game changing, so I'm not putting in that A tier.
Yeah.
But I think, they had a need, they filled it.
That's all that matters.
It made their defense better.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think it's going to be a struggle on both sides of the ball for them this year.
I agree, and just like looking at the guys that went behind them, I don't see anybody that really changes my I don't think they could have done any worse.
No.
I don't think they could have done any better. I think you're right. This is just a pick that they were with. This is the guy you got to take at that point. Moving on to the Steelers, I like picking up Broderick Jones. You need to keep Kenny Pickett healthy. That's your future. Stick with it. You're ready to roll. I love that. I don't think I don't have much to talk about offensive lineman wise.
I love the trade there though.
Yeah.
New England just absolutely screwing the Jets over, knowing that that's the guy they wanted, giving him to Pittsburgh. I think it's classic Bill Belichick written all over it.
Yeah. Because he was gonna get his guy anyway.
Yeah. Like he knew who he wanted.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, moving on, Will McDonald.
I think that's why the Jets forced that pick, because I think Bill Belichick really did. Because they're in my mind, Will McDonald is not a top 15 guy.
No.
I didn't know that much about him.
I know he's undersized.
I do too, and I
Yeah.
think especially like I get it, like they're trying to build a similar stable type of deal. So like I understand the position of it, and I think you're right. I think Bill Belichick really just fucked them up. And honestly, looking at it, the picks around them, like they could have also benefited from like Jack Campbell, that linebacker out of Iowa that went to the Lions at 18.
Yeah.
That's a guy they could have taken right there, and I would have been much more happy with.
Yeah, I mean, even for me, even Kalijah Casey down at 19.
That's another one. Him and Quentin Williams. Could you imagine that pass rush in the middle, man? And
Especially all the comparisons to him and Aaron Donald.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if that turns out to be even halfway true.
You're good, man.
You're good for the rest of the.
And he's fast, so like Quentin's
Exactly.
getting two. You got one-on-one on the outside. That means you got your little shorter back guy.
Exactly.
He's playing
Just
wax
going.
on, wax off. Yeah, he's out.
And then, I mean, of course, back-to-back corners.
Emmanuel Forbes surprised the fuck out of me, dude. I knew he was. I thought he was really good. His frame just concerned me in the sense that he's like the Bryce Young of quarterbacks, in my opinion. Like he's just a little bit smaller than Christian Gonzalez, right? But he's like 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I saw that. I watched his tape. I watched some of his all 22 film. Like I did my best to try to understand
he's
this
the best
guy.
corner in the SEC this year.
He was.
100%.
And his ball skills are impeccable.
Yeah.
There is nobody else in college football that I
He
saw.
pinpoints it like a wide receiver.
He does, and he goes and gets that son of a bitch too, and he can hit. He's not very strong, but he'll put it all on the line for you. And I think that's a Ron Rivera pick.
Yeah.
So I give that one an A.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Ron Rivera's a defensive guy. I think, especially with everything going on with the Commanders, I think it was a safe pick for them too.
I agree, because their jobs are on the line. If we're being honest, like I mean, I get it. He's their transition guy right now. I think that's why he's been brought in.
Knew everything coming in the next couple weeks. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's a B plus.
Yeah. I rate it. Now this Christian Gonzalez, that's an A.
That's an A. 100%. Bill
Steal.
Belichick got his guy.
Steal.
To me personally, with the film that I've watched, I think he's the best corner. I really do.
I think he's like Dominique Rupp's corner. DRC, like he's got that all pro caliber. Like
I'm excited for him just to be out there, get in that system.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely on my list of D-Roy. I mean, defensive rookie of the year off rip. I think he's going to be up there.
Ball hawk. I think that's it. And you know, for the Patriots, like for the last few years, they've been going off these small guys, right? Like it's been like 5'10", 5'11" on the outside.
Yeah.
Dude, let Bill Belichick get himself a shutdown corner. Let Bill Belichick get him this guy. He's going to change their
6'1",
life.
200 pounds. Like,
oh, yeah.
6'1", 200 pounds wearing a 4.3.
Did you know his sisters? All right, so his family. So he's got an older sister who ran track at Miami, set NCAA 400 meter record, right? He's got a younger sister. She's ran track, or another older sister who I think it's maybe Venezuela is their country team, ran for their team in the Olympics, fucking won. His little sister, who is 14, is the fastest 14-year-old in America. Like, this family is fucking insane. This is like the St. Browns, yes. But, like, they're strong. These guys are fast. And Bill Belichick is just going to have a field day with this.
Yeah.
I hate it because, like, it's the Patriots. And, you know what, I'm tired and I don't want to see it. Like, the Tom Brady era is gone, but, like, I still want to see it anymore.
They still find something to get relevant. And them picking Christian Gonzalez here is great for them.
It's so good.
Moving on, 18-19. I mean, for me, both of these picks, I think are B plus picks.
Yeah.
Lions needed a linebacker to kind of complement Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm. And they got that Rodrigo kid too from Hard Knocks. You remember the Malcolm Rodrigo?
Yeah.
He played really good this year. Mm-hmm. So they've got their two linebackers
exactly.
in there.
Jack Campbell, I mean, kind of like what a lot of people were saying. He reminds me of an old school linebacker.
He does, like a Steelers linebacker.
Like, I mean, like he may not be the craziest ball hawk or jump out of gym athleticism, but he's gonna go in there hard nose, hit some people up, and you know.
He's got a hell of a set of hair too, man. I saw his hair and I was like, you know, because I'm trying to get my grade out, so I sat there and I was like, oh, that's what I need right there. He's got a mane on him. I'll give him that.
And then Kalijah Casey, pick 19. I mean, again, I think it's a B plus.
Yeah.
He's a great D tackle. Coming out of Pittsburgh, I mean, like I said, all the Aaron Donaldson comparisons are huge.
I mean, yeah, even just being in that breath. I mean, I get it. Like, it's unfair to compare him to that. Like, in all reality,
Yeah.
and because he's no, I doubt anybody's ever gonna live up to that. But like, when you're getting that means you got talent.
And going to play for Todd Bowles, defensive guy.
With Vita Vea too. So
Mhm.
like, they're just trying to rebuild what they got them to the Super Bowl, which is a dominant defense in which they had Sue and all those guys. So
Yeah. And then, I mean, 20 through 22, you had the wide receiver waterfall.
that was crazy, man. I knew. I mean, you know it's gonna happen. Like, there's always
Yeah.
that one spot in the draft. But I think this was actually the most wide receivers
Yeah.
picked in the first round, I believe.
It
in
was the
NFL
first
history.
time that 4 had gotten picked
consecutive.
consecutively.
Yeah, that's crazy.
JSN going off first, I mean, of course,
His best one,
100%.
dude. And to the Seahawks, like, they got the best
Their
corner
wide receiver
and the
room,
best wide receiver. Yeah. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Jackson Smith. They're versatile. That's like, you got deep threat, always open, and then your slot guy.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally, he reminds me of Julian Edelman in terms that
and I
he's
think,
not,
like,
he's
even
not
watching
long-term
him,
fast.
even pre-injury, like,
Yeah. That Utah game, the
Mhm.
Rose Bowl, dude, that's like I said the other day, like late night, I'm watching football highlights, like I pulled that game up just to watch him fucking cook people, probably one of the most impressive
he's
games I've ever seen.
spectacular. I'm surprised it took until 20 for him to get him.
I
That's
would
an A.
too.
It's an A.
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
a
A pick
steal.
for me.
Yeah,
And then 21, Quinn
I
Johnson.
don't like this. I don't like this at all.
I mean, he fits the bill.
He does.
He's a Mike Williams, Keenan Allen build.
You gotta chunk it
Throw
up.
it up and go get it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick for them in the aspect of they need a young wide receiver that isn't going to get hurt. I mean, because you can only really count on Keenan Allen and Mike Williams to play, 8
Half
games.
the season, yeah. So I agree with that. But I would have loved to see them steal Addison right there.
Yeah.
Zay Flowers, I would have liked to. But I think they kind of get that kind of slot, like, run after the catch production from Austin Eckler. So I would have loved to have seen Addison, a true route runner here.
Yeah.
But Quentin Johnson, if he develops, quite frankly, he has the potential to be the best one. Just because, I mean, what is he at? 6'4", 215, long strider. He's got that Calvin Johnson kind of
Yeah,
speed.
he
That
can jump out the
sneaky
gym,
speed.
too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he doesn't high point the ball. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
It's the chest catching. Like, I hate that. But if he gets, and with a guy like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, like, Mike Williams is probably one of the best deep threats. Keenan Allen's one of the best route runners. Like,
Yeah.
you can learn there.
It's just I'm with you though. I think Addison might have been a better fit for them, but I mean they picked their guy.
That guy, yeah.
It's a B-, C+ kind of pick for me.
I agree. I'm in that. Honestly, I'm more to the C- side, just because, again, like, I'm a big, he's got the highest ceiling, but that floor is just deadly, man. Because it's a wasted pick if he doesn't pan out. Because his skills right now don't translate, but his physical abilities do.
Zay Flowers though to the Ravens, I think perfect fit.
Yeah.
I mean Steve Smith 2.0. 100%.
Exactly.
Kid's a dog. First Boston College wide receiver ever to get picked. I think
I
in
saw
the
that
in the first round.
Yeah. And dude, I think he goes well.
Tyreek Hill comparisons off the rip, like draft analysis.
Deservingly so, though. Have you
100%.
seen his highlight tape, dude?
Dude.
That guy does not go down, man. He's fun to watch. You're sitting there, and I was like,
And he's so shifty.
he
The
is.
cuts that this man can make and make it look easy.
His play strength for such a small guy, like he's stocky like Tyreek Hill, and so he you can't get him down.
I think his official measurements were
5'10",
5'9",
172.
yeah,
That's
5'9",
crazy.
180. Like
He's strong.
mm-hmm.
He's running back esque with the ball in his hands.
yeah. I think that's an A pick for them. I
I
really
agree.
do. They needed
They need
just
wide
signed
receiver.
Lamar. They needed a playmaker. They got one. And then moving on to Jordan Addison for the Vikings. I mean, dude.
It's a steal because he shouldn't have been on the board, and like I would have loved to see them go Hendon Hooker right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so honest. Like I know Hendon slipped to the Lions in the third, but like I would have loved to see Hendon get behind Kirk for a year and have Jettis to go right into.
I do think though, putting Addison in the same room as Jay Jettis
It's gonna be deadly.
I mean,
it's gotta be.
he's gonna learn from the best. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, like Jay Jettis to me is the best
best.
wide receiver in the league.
Oh, hands down. I don't think there's too much discussion.
I really do think this is a B+ pick for them.
Yeah,
Um,
it is.
Like you said, they could have won some other options, but yeah. And then I mean, Giants, Deontay Banks,
That was good for them because
they needed it.
yeah, they did.
It was a pure fit pick, at least for me.
I agree because they got to go against us. Like if we're being honest, in the NFC East, what you're trying to do right now is, and I think that's why they went John Michael Schmidt in the second
Yeah.
round, is because you gotta get through Philly at this point. Like, I'm sorry, Dallas is no longer even in the conversation, in my opinion. I think anybody that's still dick riding the Dallas Cowboys is just dick riding the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's gonna be us in New York.
I agree. I literally said this. I was talking about in our little pre-draft thing with Jack. I was like, we're gonna see y'all 3 times a year. It's gonna be we're gonna play y'all in the divisional because y'all are gonna get out of the wild card, and it's y'all got to find a way to stop AJ Brown. You got to find a way to keep Daniel James upright.
And they did that.
They did, and he's the guy who was he was fast, man. He's 6'3", but or 6'2", I should say.
Yeah, running a 4.3.
Yeah, burner, man. The fluid, very fluid. Now, this next pick with Dalton Kincaid was very intriguing to me. I had a little DraftKings night, right? So first off, I picked Bryce Young to go number 1, like, way back a minute ago. Remember when everybody was like, C.J. Stroud, Frank Reich, yada, 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 and I was like, no, that's the best guy. So I got him, and then I had Dalton Kincaid, and I literally had him going, if he had gone before 25, then I would have won a little bit. But he went at 25. So I was like, all right, you know what? It was pride. I was okay.
Super interesting pick for the Bills here.
Very intriguing, man.
I mean, if
they already have Dawson Knox.
If they can make him and Dawson Knox work, though,
that's
scary. I did see a thing where they might even move him over into more of like a slot wide receiver type deal.
Oh, he's not a blocker. He is a true split out wide tight end. Like he's Darren Waller-esque in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I could see, like, I think they needed a wide receiver, and I think if Addison was one of those guys that's still been here, that's who they would have gone with.
I mean, I think Dalton can definitely make the move to wide receiver.
He's athletic, man. Yeah. And honestly, like, you watched him. He was in a great tight end room in Utah. Like, that was a loaded tight end room, and he stood out. And, like, I watched, I think it was the same game. I think it was a Rose Bowl. And, like, he had to step up big, and he did. He caught touchdowns. He's very good. I like him. He reminds me a lot of Dalton Schultz, kind of. I think he is a better receiving Dalton Schultz and Darren Waller.
I think it's a great pick for them, though. I mean, for me, it's a B plus pick for them.
I think it's safe. I think it's one of those things. It's the Mahomes doctrine. Like, you're not going to stop him. You got to put up more points than him. Like, that's just the fact of it.
If you put up as many points as he does, it gives you a chance. Dalton Kincaid gives you a chance to score more points.
Exactly. Mozzie Smith, I love this pick. I hate to say it, but, like, he's a physical freak. He's strong as hell. He's going to help them stop the run.
This is who your defensive captain asked for. You went out and you got him. Micah Parsons texting earlier in the day telling him that this is who he wanted, and they kept him happy, which I think you keep Micah happy.
You keep the team happy.
Exactly.
Like, that's their team. Like, it's not Dak's team, it's Micah's team.
I think, like you said, I hate to say it, great pick for them. It's a B plus pick for them. They needed a D tackle. They went out, they got a D tackle, and Kid's just a beast.
He is. He's physically a beast, man. Did you see his athletic grade of, like, he had like a 90, he's like in the 90 something percentile. For just how strong he is. 6'3", 337, but he doesn't look it. He looks like he weighs like 279 because he carries his weight well.
100%.
I don't know much about Anton Harrison.
I really don't.
I know they needed a tackle, so that's a safe pick.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. I know he was the best O tackle
available.
Yeah.
And honestly, again, it's the Mahomes art. You got to be able to keep the offense on the field. Can't do that if you're getting sacked.
That, and Trevor Lawrence doesn't need to be running for his life out there.
I agree.
Trevor Lawrence is most deadly when he's staying in the pocket.
Let him cook, man.
And let him cook.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick for them. It's a B plus pick for me.
I agree. It's another one of those fill the need kind of guys. Now Myles Murphy, that was a very interesting one for me.
I think them not picking Brian Bresee, however you want to say his last name.
Very, very telling.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I just think, like, them not picking Brian over Myles is just super interesting considering all the hype and everything that Brian had. I think at one point...
Since high school.
Yeah, I think at one point, I mean, Brian was supposed to be the first D tackle taken.
He was.
And I think he fell to, the third or fourth one taken?
Yeah.
I think he was number 3.
Because Mozzie went... So
he was the 4th.
Oh, and then Kalijah too. Yeah.
So he was the 4th. I think Myles Murphy, though, they needed an edge rusher.
They did.
Especially...
They'll benefit from being around Hawkinson and Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. Those are high motor guys. I think Myles Murphy and Brian Bresee kind of got knocked by the helmet. I think it's like I think of like Vic Beasley, Clellan Farrell, like
Mhm.
all of these guys that have Shaq Lawson who have come out of Clemson super hyped, supposed to be super good, and then they just fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good at because there are schools that is known for, like LSU has good DBs,
Mhm.
Alabama has good wide receivers, Ohio State has the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like you go to pipeline schools for a reason, right? And like Georgia, we've seen it with defense now,
Yeah.
and Clemson just does not have a good track record of producing good, talented defensive guys. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the pick. I think they're. I don't think there was an offensive guy that they could have
I
gone with.
also just think, I mean, they filled a need.
Yeah, you need a bullpen, and
It's
they're
C
trying to build
plus.
it.
It's a C plus B minus pick for me.
I agree.
I'm giving the same grade to the Saints with Brian Brisset.
Yeah, they needed a guy.
They needed it.
Cam Jordan's getting old, man.
Yeah.
He's just getting old. Like, and
There's not much more he can do. Like,
and Ryan's that linebacker they got, Demario, whatever.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, though. I mean, they got Lattimore still. Like, you got some pieces. If you're gonna make some kind of push in this division, you got to be able to at least do something. And now the Falcons have Bijan Robinson. I think that had a lot to do with them taking 2
100%.
defensive guys first round, because and D line too.
yeah.
Because you got to be able to stop them, and
Yeah.
you're just not going to be able to if you don't have that. They didn't have much depth there, and then in my opinion, probably steal a draft. Because I would have been fine if we had taken him at 10. Like he's that kind of talent. I think he got knocked a lot because he was hurt last year. And also, I think it's kind of the effect of like when you're surrounded. Like if you think about it, the entire front 7 and then the backups of that Georgia team are all almost first round draft picks. Like they're in the NFL for sure. And you know,
I think having to play alongside the guys he did, and like you said, that injury really knocks him.
You get overshadowed. You get kind of forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he should have at least been picked late teens, early 20s. For him to fall all the way to 30 is crazy.
And he's a lot of comps I saw as Hassan Reddick, and I agree. He gives us a pure. You know how Josh Sweat is a speed guy.
Mhm.
Well, Hassan Reddick's a more of an effort guy. Like he's fast, but he's got the spin move. He's got more of a repertoire under him. Nolan Smith, if you just need to get off the fucking edge, that's the guy who I want to do it. He's got athletic enough to do in the pass, and he's a good run fit guy. So I'm very excited about him. And then we obviously got Ringo in the 4th round. Like, just such a good draft from Howie Roseman. And we picked up DeAndre Swift. We got our starting guard from Alabama. So that's good. We got Sidney Brown out of Illinois.
Great pick.
Yeah,
I love Sidney Brown.
I did too. I was very happy about that when they did that. I was sitting watching the Grizzlies game, and obviously I'm just wallowing in shame at the Grizzlies, and then I see our draft picks, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
it's a little bit better.
And then of course, last pick, the 1st round, Felix.
I call him FAU.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I'm not even gonna try.
Felix
I think
and Duke Uzama. I got Uzama right, but I don't know.
It's a great pick for them. I really do. I mean, they don't need anything offensive wise. Maybe a tackle.
They got that wide receiver in the 2nd round.
Exactly. I mean, they needed defensive help. Not that the Chiefs needed to get any better anyway, but
they need to figure out a way to stop Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. And this is an athletic guy who can probably run around with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I also think, like you said, though. I mean, it's the Patrick Mahomes. It's the Patrick Mahomes effect.
Yeah.
They got this guy so they could stop people from putting up 40 against them and competing.
Yeah, because that's all they need to do. If they hold them to 30, we're going to score 40.
Yeah.
So, we're good. And that's crazy to think about. Like, in an entire NFL game, your goal was to just not let them get past 35.
Yeah.
Like, it used to be, like, the old 2000 Ravens. Like, I remember I was watching something the other day. Like, their playoff runs, they gave up, 3, 7, 10... 3, 7, 10, and then 7, and that 7 was on a kickoff. So, they're back in the day, defense was everything, and now it's all about, all right, maybe our defense can get a stop once or twice, and that's all we need. So that was great. I'm gonna give a quick little glance at the overall winners. I think the Eagles. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think this is biased. Like, we won the draft again.
100%. I think, like you said, there were some teams that didn't maybe have the best 1st round, but made it up later on. I do think the Titans did kind of not save their draft, but made it interesting being able to pick up Will Levis in the 2nd round.
Seahawks had a good late rounders too.
Yeah, exactly.
Cardinals. I loved how the Cardinals went in, and like I said, they had 7 picks, and I was sitting there, and they're the worst roster in the NFL. So I was sitting there, and I was like, what are they going to do? They really don't have options, and they pulled it out. I will say Jonathan Gannon. I'm not familiar who their new GM is, but I got a lot of faith. He did great for us on defense. and I think he's going to be.
I think it'll be interesting because he had some things that he could hide behind in our defense.
He did talent, yeah.
I think that it'll be real interesting to see how he coaches there. I mean, for me though, winners of the second round.
I like the Bears. The Bears had a good day.
The Bears, exactly. I mean, the Bears went out and got defensive guys that they needed.
The Bengals had a good draft too. They got I like Tyreek Stevenson, the corner from Miami. I'm not familiar with the defensive tackle, but it looks like they're investing in the trenches for the Bears. So the Bengals, I didn't love their draft. I didn't hate it. They got a good corner in the second round. They got Jordan Battle out of Alabama. He went to the Bengals, so that's good because they lost. What was his name? The Jesse Bates.
Oh, yeah.
He went to the Falcons, I believe. So that was a huge one.
I also think the Giants getting Jalen Hyatt in the third round, crazy.
Still, yeah. That helps Daniel Jones a lot. Because I don't think they have a deep threat. I mean, just correct me if I'm wrong, but, I think Slayton's not fast enough.
No.
Kenny Galladay's an absolute wash. I don't... And then they had that 19 guy who kind of did something against us in the playoffs. You know what I'm talking about?
Off the top of my head,
but he's just a guy, you know. But they had a lot. New England, I'm looking at them. They took a kicker in the 4th round and a punter in the 6th round.
I mean, for me, big loser the draft, the Niners.
Oh yeah, they did not do much. That was
wasting your 3rd round pick off kicker. There's so many better guys on the board that could fit better needs for them.
I'm trying to see who else they took, and see, all right, here's why I think we're going to surpass the 49ers is I think they've moved I think they've moved back this offseason. I think we've taken steps forward, significant steps. All they did was, because they can't afford anything, they're broke as hell, first off.
That, and their division got better.
Exactly.
I mean, Seahawks got better.
A lot better. Rams did too.
I mean, they got better, not as much as this. I think the Seahawks are the clear winner out there.
They'll keep it competitive.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just don't think you can count out Kyle Shanahan at this point. That's kind of the conclusion that I've come to my head is I don't think it really matters when the coach is that great. He'll keep you in games, and he is.
But I mean, I think, I'm with you. I still don't think the Seahawks got the best out of those 4 teams in the draft and even some of their offseason moves.
Yeah, I'm looking at all right, so looking at the 49ers pick right here, they didn't even have a pick until the 3rd round, and they had a lot of picks after that. They got some guys. Like you said, they got a kicker. They took a safety, which is somebody they needed. They took Cameron Latu, the tight end out of Alabama. That's good. And then it looks like they're just kind of depth guys. I'm not seeing. I'm not gonna say I'm extremely familiar with all 300 draft prospects, but I know a name if I know a name.
Exactly.
And they didn't have any names, man.
I think also just late round draft stuff. I think Max Duggan going late to the Chargers.
That was crazy. I didn't expect him to get drafted. I'm gonna be honest.
It's interesting. I like it. I think it's a good move for the Chargers.
Yeah,
just to have someone behind Jay Herbo, just in case.
God forbid, man. That guy is special.
Yeah, I love him. I'm huge Justin Herbert fan.
Oh, I'm looking at the Seahawks draft overall right now, and I'm just gonna read off some names, and I know you're gonna know some of these names. So we got Devin Witherspoon and Jackson Smith and Jigba Wright. Mm-hmm. We got Derek Hall, guy from Auburn, pass rusher, immediate impact.
Big
Zach Charbonnet, yes, very big. Zach Charbonnet from UCLA, backup Kenny, who had a injury, kind of had some injury problems last year.
Mm-hmm.
Running back by committee is a new thing. You take running backs back-to-back 2nd round. They got a good starting guard. Cameron Young, Mississippi State tackle.
Yeah.
He's in there. And then they took Kenny McIntosh, the Georgia running back, 7th round.
They got him in the 7th?
They got him in the 7th. That's literally what I said yesterday when I saw that. I was like, fuck, really? This guy he's going to be crazy. I'm looking at the Cardinals. They ended up with a solid, they got a pass rusher, got a corner. Got a backup quarterback. You see, we took the backup quarterback from Stanford, dude. That was kind of a surprise to me.
I mean, I just think it's just another smart kid in the QB room.
Yeah, I mean, we do like to keep our quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, also, the quarterbacks we have on the roster, Marcus Mariota, and I think Ian Book's still there.
Yeah, he is.
I mean...
Mariota, Ian Book's going to go, but, I like Mariota, and then this Stanford kid's going to hang around. I think Mariota's going to be a good backup for us. I'm looking at the Giants now. They absolutely killed it, I'm be honest. Banks, John Michael Smith, who was easily the best center in the draft.
100%.
Jalen Hyatt stole him in the 3rd. Eric Gray was a beast, and then they just got some depth.
Memphis kid.
Yeah, they got some depth on the defense after that. Baltimore, they got a good corner, not really too much. I'm just trying to see the teams with like the most picks.
Yeah,
Let's see if they capitalize.
I mean, for me, top 3 winners, us, of course.
Yeah. Texans.
I think the Texans are definitely up there for me. And then for me, like I said, I think the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks for me are my third best team that drafted. I know a lot of people probably aren't going to agree with that, but
honestly, I mean, I think in a vacuum, they're still like top in there. But when you put together the fact that last year they did this too, so they're gonna go back to back of getting the best talent. Because I think Kenny was better than Breece Hall coming out last
100%.
year. I think Kenny's size. I think Breece Hall's size is what elevated him over him. But they got the best running back in the draft last year. Tariq Woolen clearly turned out well. Aside from Sauce Garner, he turned out to be the second best corner in that draft. Now they just got both of the best again. And they have an offensive line. They got bookend tackles, man. They got Charles Cross, and they got their other guy last year in the 4th round who played great this year.
Geno, I love him.
I do too. He's the guy that they need because he's older, he's experienced, and he's a good mix of he's hope. He's a guy you can get behind because it doesn't matter who you are on that team. Geno Smith's been the backup. He's the guy who succeeded Mark Sanchez. Fucked up in New York, and then is the guy who took out Eli Manning's starting streak. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That huge deal. Like that was Geno Smith.
Yeah.
This is a guy that you can get around.
Yeah, and then I think for me, losers, like we said,
losers. Oh yeah. Oh the 49ers is one.
Yeah, the Niners. I don't think the Browns got any better.
I don't either.
Truly and honestly.
Yeah, they didn't have many picks to work with. They kind of split themselves with Deshaun Watson.
And then I also think New Orleans. I mean,
they could have done more. I feel like they. And the Steelers. I'm looking at the Steelers now too. I don't love their picks.
I love Joey Porter.
Oh, I love Joey Porter.
Pick for them.
Don't get me wrong there. But other than that, they didn't. Oh, actually, I take that back. They got Darnell Washington. That's who I was looking. I was looking at the wrong team right there. It's kind of formatted weird the way I'm looking.
Roger Jones, big tackle for them.
Yeah, them Georgia boys really came off the board this year. The Titans, I think they play it safe. They went offense all the way, which is very interesting to me. The Bills. They got O'Cyrus Torrance, who was probably a top 5 guard. Kincaid, Justin Schroeder.
It was a very average draft for them, minus their top 2 picks.
Yeah. I think we've about covered it because I'm looking at this and Dallas kind of had a mid draft. They got Shoemaker.
I'm with you. I mean, outside of the 1st round, there was a lot of good picks, 2nd, 3rd round.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how some of the later round guys play.
Oh yeah. Because I think this was a deep draft. I think there wasn't a whole lot of top 5 guys.
Yeah. I think that's definitely next year. I think next year is going to be a very interesting draft.
Blue chip out the next year is going to be very top heavy, and I think this year was very spread out. I think a lot of it has to do is we got a lot of these 5th-year COVID guys coming out.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot of experience, a lot of tape, and so it's easier to grade these guys. But overall, yeah, just final thoughts. Of course, the Eagles are winners. I don't want to book it because I like to solidify my pick. The way I always do it is I watch the preseason games, see who we cut, see how he trade because he's got to make a trade like he made T.J. Johnson literally last week. I still think we're gonna get Budda Baker come the end of this season, and once it's all said and done. And I honestly right now, Eagles came out on top of this draft, and then Seahawks. I'm with you, and then. Those and then the Texans. I think just because the Texans changed their franchise for the future.
I mean, the AFC South is going to be
hectic,
an extremely interesting conference to watch. Or division to watch. With all the young talent that all those teams have,
the turnover is going to be insane. I mean, the Titans, who have kind of been the predominant guys, they got a real chance to finish last right there because the Jaguars are going to do something. Colts are going to do Colts might do something, but then like you're saying, the fucking Texans, man. They honestly they have guys on the team. Like they have Singletary, they have Petrie, they're great. So yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I had a blast. This was good. I always love. Yeah, I always. It's Eagles football. We're talking.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, thank you guys to Paul for joining us. Go Eagles, and ladies and gentlemen, until I see you again, stay happy, healthy, and wealthy. Have a good one.